everybody. I'm Devin, co-founder at GameGPT, and GameGPT is part of a end-to-end gaming platform called Prism. Prism AI is our website, prism.ai, if you want to check everything out. And we're building tons and tons of gaming products underneath blockchain gaming. We've already launched Prism Challenges, which allows you to do skill-based wagering on top of some of the biggest games in the world, like League of Legends, Dota 2, Counter-Strike, soon to be PUBG, Chess.com, Destiny 2, and plenty of other games. But GameGPT is why we're all here today, and it is the second, but probably the biggest gaming product underneath Prism. GameGPT, much like the name describes, is an AI gaming project, and it is what we're trying to build, the ChatGPT for games. We're hoping at the end of a couple of keystrokes or a couple of some typing on the keyboard with your thumbs on your phone, you are going to have a game at the end of it. What our game engine does is at the end of a couple of keystrokes, we generate the code base for a game. And we also generate the 2D and 3D visual assets associated with a game. And then we take all of that information and we synthesize it into a game engine. Right now, the two most popular game engines are Unity, and the other one is Unreal Engine. However, because GameGPT v1 is really focused on hyper casual games, Unity is our game engine of choice. We will soon be getting more and more complex and more variety in games through our game builder, as we'll show today. But right now, we're really focused on this hyper casual variety of games. So I'm going to go into this in great detail in the demo. But when I say hyper casual, I think of games like Temple Run, like Subway Surfer, like Candy Crush, like Fruit Ninja, like Contra, like Dino Run, the game that you play on Google Chrome when it runs out of internet, like Helix Jump, Flappy Bird, Snake.io, Wordle, Archero, and all of these viral mobile apps that you see a lot, or these browser-based games that happen. The vision of GameGPT is to be initially a builder that builds these hyper casual games on desktop, and then for our mobile app coming in the next 3 to 4 months. And from each, just like ChatGPT version 1 started out with ChatGPT 3, we're starting out with ChatGPT v1, and that's going to be the hyper casual game builder. As we iterate and as we improve, every 2 to 3 months, a new version of GameGPT is going to come out. And with it, new versions of games can be built, new versions of token mechanics can be put into games, and more ways to monetize blockchain games are going to be made possible. So that's what we're all encompassing and here for today. And I'm really happy to have everybody here for it. I think that is enough of the intros. I'm happy to see everyone here. I'm going to check the comments and just say hi to everyone. By the way, this isn't just I'll say it now, this isn't just a 1 hour presentation where I'm going to be talking at you. This is a presentation where if you have questions, if you have feedback, if you want during the demo, if you want certain things made into the demo that we're going to have today, go ahead and ask it. Go ahead and leave a comment. There's going to be an AMA section after the demo, and we're going to be basically we're going to bring people onto the stage to ask questions as well. So if at any point you have a question, Connor, it's okay to stop the demo and ask things that are relevant. But I think before we get into the demo, we'll just do we'll answer any pending questions we have or any comments coming. I'm going to read the comments, Connor, but I don't know if you're ahead of me if you have anything.
Yeah, we got a couple questions. It's the same question a couple times. Is the team doxed?
Yes. Go to what I'm surprised a lot of people don't know that we're doxed, but we're completely doxed. Our website is gamegpt.gg if you're brand new here. And all you have to do is go straight to the website, and I'm doxed, and my two co-founders are doxed. And if you check on LinkedIn, you can see even more team members besides just us three. So completely doxed.
Nice.
Seeing a Twitter link, I'll just type that in. x.com/GameGPT official. Semp asks, will this be recorded for viewing after? Yes. We should already have a couple people in here recording, so it's always going to be here. Retnick says, will it cost to use the game builder software? We'll go into that in detail in the demo, so no worries there. All right, I think that is about it. Mustafar, I hope I'm saying your name right. He says no voice, but Connor, you're responding to me, and I hope, from what I can see, people are commenting on certain things. So I'm hoping that's just for Mustafa, not Mustafar. Yeah, he says can hear everything. Voice now, no problem, bro. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, Discord was having some issues earlier, just random bugs. So yeah, if there's any issue you guys are having, please put it in the chat so we can make sure everybody can hear.
All right. Seems like we went into the questions. I am going to just go ahead and get into the meat of things. I think now we can go ahead and demo what the game builder actually is. And while it's happening and while we're going through the process, I'll stop and talk through what's actually happening. So everyone, I'm sure you can see my screen that says GameGPT Builder. Choose your game genre. This is one of many steps that is going into the ChatGPT-like experience of building a game. Just like ChatGPT, it's a little different than ChatGPT because ChatGPT is you type one thing in and then you get something out. There's no way to have a good enough prompt to build a whole game from one type of thing. So our natural language interface is a little bit more of like a questionnaire of sorts. So there's going to be things that we ask, at least at this point of the model, to from you, and that is what's going to help us generate the code, generate the assets, put it all in a game engine, etc. So let's just go ahead and get started. I would love to go into the audience, and I'd love to actually get some comments on things that we want typed. What type of games do we want? Let's try to get some answers from people.
See, shooter game was the first type. Shooter. You got like 3 shooters in a row.
Wow. Okay.
That's funny. Someone said Call of Duty. Don't think we can actually make Call of Duty. There's probably IP issues there.
Call of Duty from day one would be an amazing feat, but we're seeing shooter,
PvE
strategy
shooter.
game, card game, Call of Duty. I think overwhelmingly we have shooters.
Yeah.
So I think I'm actually going to go with a shooter. Let's see. And we'll go into this. Multiple ways. But effectively, the way that our model works is, like I said, where we do hyper casual games. And the way that these hyper casual games are built so that code can get generated in a pretty fast way is we actually have done a ton of training of our data set and built a wide variety of hyper casual games that basically serves as the data set that makes our AI model better at generating code that goes into Unity. So there actually are various amounts of shooter games already in that database, and we can pull on that to create like sort of a custom shooter. So I'm going to go ahead and I think stick with the shooter genre and get started. So of a shooter, let's just think of an idea. Let's say, because we're keeping it high casual, let's say we want a platform shooter game. And if you've ever seen like a platformer, it's basically a game where you jump up and down and you scroll side to side, and we're doing like that. There's an arcade game that's coming to mind. Contra is a good one. So platform shooter game like Contra. All right, and let's go. Anything else, guys? We have any comments? I have the comment section up on my other monitor so I can see things. Call of Duty in 5 years with AI. I think it's very possible, 100%. Metal Slug, Heartface. Okay, yeah.
Oh, Metal Slug is like one of my favorite games, like arcade games. I played that so much
Contra
as a kid.
and Metal Slug. Perfect. Awesome.
Yeah, which are
So
kind of similar games anyway. So yeah,
yeah,
that does fit.
and let's stick with that. The
Cool.
next thing that you're going to see in the game builder is game title. So this is obviously a very easy thing. and not something that takes a ton of time. You can just use a normal LLM like ChatGPT to do so, but we've integrated it with all of the responses that are coming to generate a type of game. So let's go ahead and lean into all the AI features as they come up, but you could name your game manually. We got Bullet Blazer, we got Mercenary Rush going for the Metal Slug theme, and then Steel Striker. Just because I want to get to the other sections of the builder, let's go ahead and move with Mercenary Rush. Really love that name. And then we'll go next. And then the next one is a little bit more of like a theme or vibe or aesthetic. This is really going to help out. These prompts are created to really help us not necessarily look at the game logic or the game loop, but to get in a starting point for the visual assets, the tones, the backgrounds, and things like that. So what we're kind of going here is, I think maybe I was trying to go into a direction with all of the music that we had in the build-up, especially if we're going with Contra or if we're going with Metal Slug. We definitely want like a retro arcade game. I think that also lends itself to be the type of game that we have on Prism Arcade. But I have the comments wide. Apocalypse vibes. I really like that. I really like that. I think maybe we could go through that direction. Retro arcade game with a twist. How about we leave it open for the AI to go from there? Shooter GPT, Retnix, I like that comment. Ochobit says Mario Kart. Event, yeah, that is one of the hyper casuals, but we're going down the shooter mode at the moment. Cool. Okay, so we'll go with the vibe. Jasim, I hope I'm saying your name right. I really like the idea of the apocalyptic vibe. So let's go next. And then please describe your game world. Almost like a perfect segue. Let's have a dark, mysterious apocalypse styled game world. Any other comments? I'm wide and open. What do we have? I have the comment section.
We did have a question. Someone has asked, are there already games built with GameGPT to try?
So that is a good question. We do have 9 current playable games in the arcade if you just go to arcade.prism.ai. However, the game builder in GameGPT v1 actually has, like I mentioned, a data set of hundreds of games that are effectively training the AI model for the game that's being built that you're seeing. So although this is almost packaged in a way that is a natural language interface where you type it in what you want and then you'll have a game that gets spit out, we've been building games using almost like a string together, very engineering intensive AI game building development process for the last 6 to 12 months. So I would say go on the arcade or all of the games that we launch. We launch a game almost every 1 to 2 weeks. Those are also built with AI. Cool. So I think we've kind of got to the dark, mysterious, apocalyptic style game world, and we can continue. Oh, create background. Sorry about that. It's loading. Perfect. So now we have some backgrounds for this Metal Slug Contra style games. I'm looking through them. I hope I'm zoomed in enough that everyone can see. But I really like this third one, especially if we're going for a platformer, having these levels on the bottom, I think is the best choice. Then we have the water at the bottom, and we have like this dark night, cloudy with like a really big moon. I think that sets like this apocalyptic vibe. Even the top and the middle kind of definitely follow this apocalyptic vibe. But I really like this third one in terms of how it looks for a game. So let's continue. All right. And next one is our game card. So in the arcade, in our app and our desktop site, there's going to be a collection page where you're going to be able to check out the games that are choosable for you to play. We're basically, this is creating like a thumbnail on YouTube. If you ever scroll through a YouTube feed, every video has a thumbnail. That's basically this piece of real estate that explains what's your video about or captures attention in the best way. What we're going to do now is basically have AI create the thumbnail for our game using AI. And we can choose from those AI games, or we can actually upload one ourselves if we like that more. But here are the 3 options. They're not exactly like the map that we chose, but I do like all 3 of them. If you made me pick a favorite, it would either be probably the middle one or the right one. Retnik says the middle one is great. Jasim says the middle one, heart face. Okay, perfect. AR Dome says, is it possible to add several maps? Of course. Taco Confessions also says middle. Okay, so middle is the one. Cool. SimID Ace says, what is the token used for? We can explain that later. DUEL is our token for GameGPT, and we'll go into that very soon. So let's go next. And another really, really cool thing that I don't think you're going to see anywhere else is the ability to actually choose the soundtrack, choose the game, and choose the game music that you're going to have for your game. So do you want to have AI help select the music for your game? Let's go yes. And we can really actually choose. One of the reasons that I actually demoed or that I did the countdown at the beginning of this with music is because I knew that music was going to be generated. And so I wanted to make sure everyone can hear it. It looks like we have 3 prompts or 3 music prompts to choose from. We have Rush of Fire, Mercenary Mayhem, and then Battle Anthem. Let's go. Let's actually give it a little bit for each. By the way, guys, all of these generated with AI. We have a really cool partner called Suno that helps us generate real game music on the fly for every game that we generate. They're amazing. So here's the first song. We have Rush of Fire. Nice. I like it. It definitely sounds modern. I really like it, and the drums definitely set more of like a combat type of vibe. I'm not getting a apocalyptic vibe from it, but it definitely is something cool. Let's go on to the next one, Mercenary Mayhem. Nice. Okay, in terms of retro, the middle one definitely sounds very retro style and definitely like Metal Slug Contra vibes. You have like a bit crushed snare. If I play it again, you can hear the bit crush on each of the snare on the second and the fourth beat. There, there, there. Yeah, so this is definitely the retro feel if we want to go with that. And then let's look at the last one, Battle Anthem.
So Simp actually has a question. He says, I've made songs with Suno before. Is it easier to just directly generate it here with GameGPT, or could you generate with Suno and then import to your game?
You can, if you see right below, I'm going to stop the music just because it's playing. Overall, this definitely feels like battle music, but it doesn't give me the vibe of like a like shooter or like apocalyptic at all. It definitely feels like more of an upbeat battle anthem per se. So I'm still voting for the middle one, honestly. But to answer your question, Sam, Suno uh, has the ability to generate its own songs, and you can generate those songs off platform. And if you look at the bottom here, upload your own song. So do you want to upload music, browse from your computer, and then upload? And your game is going to be able to actually have that music. You can create it yourself. We prefer AI because AI is a little bit better. We don't have to deal with all the copyright stuff. So we're still working out the details on how that's actually going to work. But uploading your own and then generating through AI are the 2 options at the moment. Cool. So I'm going to go ahead and go with Mercenary Mayhem. I really liked the arcade feel that we've stuck to at the beginning. And yeah, I think we're ready to actually get the first playable version. The cool thing about this is we can get a playable game very, very soon. All of the choices that we've made previously have actually already been put into the model, and code is being generated from the very beginning. So going through this process has actually allowed us to cut in a lot of the load time for the game. So let's go ahead and pick next, and we should be very close to a preview. Okay, last thing is game mechanics. Sorry, so I thought I was almost at the game, almost at the preview, but we have one more thing. We have game mechanics. So what are the mechanics and logic of the game? Do you collect items, beat the clock, bash enemies? Give a detailed description below. Open for responses here, but if we're following this platformer left and right type game, it needs to be the hero can move left to right and shoot enemies. There is like navigation. Sem says bash. Huff says multiple gun switches. Zeno says type R. Yeah, R type styles. Cool. Boss level. Okay. I think this is more asking for the mechanics, not necessarily a boss level. So it needs to know like what happens inside of your game. The hero shoots enemies and can jump up levels or crouch down to lower levels to advance. Perfect. Let's see what else, what other comments that we have. People are typing. Wow, we have a lot of typers. Several people typing. Kill enemies at a certain part, then gets you next part of the stage. Would add road-like upgrading leveling. Okay. We have kill enemies, collect items by killing enemies. Okay. Let's do that. Item collection. Can we fly to in game? Yeah, that's coming very, very soon, NFTs. All right. And I think we're good to go. Let's go ahead and continue. All right. And then additional details is the last stage before the preview. So was there anything we missed? I'll just say no.
No.
We are ready. Cool. All right, guys. Here is the final boss is a demigod. Yeah, I don't know about that. LFG, let's get to it, guys. All right, previewing the game. Here we go. Nice. Okay, so we got. Oh, geez, am I gonna die already? Oh, you don't die. Okay, you don't die when you hit the bottom. I guess I swam. This game is very lenient. So we have a Contra-like game. It looks like we have turrets, and like I said, that back. I'm gonna move left so I can see. The background that we have at the top follows the background that we picked. All right. And yeah, we're golden. Cool. All right. So this is the game, everyone. I keep dying, so I'm not very good at it. But here's where we're at for the game. We have an edit section, so I'm gonna press edit. And we have what game or want to edit your game or add details, please describe below. So what I want to do and what our model is focused on is changing mechanics or changing that vibe, that aesthetic on the game. So this is what's effectively being made. I think the best place for us to go with an edit is to kind of switch it up, to do something that's not seen on the screen right now. So I'll take some comments, seeing some claps, seeing some LFGs. Thanks, guys. But we're not done. Will the graphics be better, or is it intentional for it to be retro style? I can explain that. More aliens, way more aliens. I don't have enough tokens. That's awesome. Okay, so let's get to the edit feature. The edit feature, like I said, is for the game mechanics or for the background. The first thing I see is a moon, and I see a starry night sky. And I see this apocalyptic vibe. So what if we turn it around and let's go happier? Let's try to do a happier game. So happier atmosphere. Create a happier atmosphere with sun and I don't know. Tall. What's happy? Tall trees and rainbows. Okay, we'll do rainbows and rainbows. Cool. All right. So that's what we'll do. We are almost halfway through, and we need to ask questions, and I need to talk about the future and everything to do. So let me go ahead and just do this, and then we'll be done, and then we can just talk about things. Launch. Awesome. Okay, yeah, it's definitely a lot happier. We have sun, no rainbow. I don't think it got generated, but we have sun, we have clouds, we have happy trees. The controls changed. I'm the only one that can see the controls, but the first game was WASD. Now it's arrow keys for some reason, but yep, spacebar is how I'm. Oh, messed that up. Spacebar is how I'm jumping, and I need to hit the down arrow to crouch. But yeah, we have the same game with a different aesthetic. It looks like they chose to keep the water. There is water at the bottom. But yeah, the enemies weren't changed at all. I'm gonna try to kill this turret and then be done with it. Okay, I killed the turret. I can be done. Cool. All right. Well, guys, yeah, that's it. The smiley face on the sun is missing. Okay, great use of AI. Something new to try out. Cool. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to close this out from here. And from there, we can talk about some other things. I'm going to stop sharing for a moment. And then we can talk about the future of things. I'm going to stop streaming. And I have some notes that I want to share with everyone. But that was the demo. I wanted to have more questions. And I wanted to talk about the future on where we're at. But yeah, that's the demo of GameGPT. And that's what we're about. We followed it through from this arcade style game that focuses on a platformer. We got the Metal Slug vibe from comments, and then we built it all the way through. I'm really happy with it. Now, there were a couple of comments about quality, about what type of games can be built, about what can we expect in the future, how does it iterate and get better. So I can explain that a little bit. The first thing before we take questions is the way that our AI model actually works is we started out with, like I mentioned, 10 different games that we built. But in order to actually improve on it, what we decided to do is build basically a test data set of other code and other game assets that basically fuel more games to be iterated upon and be built. And that was effectively what you saw in the Metal Slug type game. That fits underneath this umbrella that we're calling hyper casual games. But the type of game mechanics and the type of assets and the graphic quality of all of these hyper casual games fit underneath a ton of training that was done through games like Temple Run, like Subway Surfer, like Candy Crush, like Fruit Ninja, like Dino Run, like Helix Jump, like Flappy Bird, like Wordle, like and all of these type of games can be built with GameGPT v1. Every different iteration of GameGPT v1 is going to incorporate a different and more complex type of game. So we may go from hyper casual to trading card games, or we may go from hyper casual to fighting games, or hyper casual to battle royale games. It is through the training and through constant iteration and here in our community at which we're going to release more and more models, just like ChatGPT comes out with ChatGPT 3.5 Turbo, and then 4, and then 4 Omni, the most the most recent version of ChatGPT. With each iteration, we're hoping every 2 to 3 months, we're going to be releasing not only more types of games that can be built, but on top of that, different mechanics that can be blockchain mechanics that can be inside of each game. One thing that I didn't actually explain in the demo and that it doesn't capture is that blockchain mechanics are going to be featured in every single game. So whether it's a prize distribution of a leaderboard and you being able to distribute your token on based on who gets the highest score, that blockchain mechanic is going to build out. Whether it's wagering, where you could actually PvP against someone else of your similar skill level and actually put up stakes for how much duel or how much USDC that you want to go up against each other with, and actually the winner would actually get that amount wagered in that prize pool. That's something that's happening. Whether it's generating NFTs, so that NFTs can be generated as loot, and you could actually put that on a marketplace. With each variation of GameGPT, we're going to be able to build different types of games, and we're going to be able to monetize those games on the blockchain different ways itself. So that is the high level of really what we're building, and this is V1.